Do you often struggle to pronounce things in English? If you do, then don't worry, because in this video, I will share 5 tips that will help you with your pronunciation skills for the IELTS speaking exam. So let's get started. Okay, so tip 1 is to listen in English. So before we even start to speak in English, it is important for us to know what the English language sounds like. So that is why we should listen before we speak. So what type of things can we listen to? Well, the one thing I recommend, and if you've been watching this channel for a long time, you're probably tired of me saying this, but watch TV shows such as Friends, because in this show, they use English that is very easy to understand. They use conversational English, and this is a great example of the type of English that can help us with our speaking skills. Another thing that you can do is listen to your favorite podcast in English. Now, these days, there are so many podcasts, so no matter what type of things that you are in, the interest that you have, I'm sure that you can find a podcast in that field. For example, if you like sports, there are so many sports podcasts. If you like UFC, there are a bunch of podcasts that are based around UFC. So you can find a podcast that you like and listen to this, and hopefully this will help with your English language skills. Another thing we can do is listen to the radio or listen to things that are very generic on YouTube or on TV, like the weather forecast. Okay, now that might sound very boring, but these things do help you with your pronunciation. And also, another thing that can help you is listen to a variety of different accents. There is no right or wrong accent, but by listening to different accents, whether it is a British accent, an Australian accent, or an American accent, listening to a variety of them will help you improve your understanding of English and hopefully your pronunciation. The second step is to take your prep outside. So what does that mean? So most people, when they practice speaking English, they only practice with fixed people. And by fixed people, I mean they just practice speaking with the same people. So if you are constantly just practicing speaking English with one person over and over and over again, although that's good that you're practicing, you won't learn any new skills. And more importantly, if you are making mistakes that your partner has not picked up, then you will probably continue to make these mistakes. So that's why it is a good idea to take your practice outside and try to speak English with as many people as possible. So some examples are that you could speak English with the bus driver when you get on a bus, or a taxi, or in your local coffee shop. It can be anywhere. I know a lot of people hesitate, they get a bit shy and nervous when they speak English in public, but the chances are that none of these people probably care. Focus on yourself, and the way to do this is to speak English outside, out of your comfort zone. The third tip is, it's a little bit difficult, but I have so much respect for people who actually practice this tip, and that is to practice difficult sounds, especially sounds that you don't have in your native language. So for example, if you come from an Arabic background, you won't have the letter P in your language. So this is often replaced in Arabic with B. So I've been to lots of Arab countries where they pronounce things such as Pepsi as Bebsi, and that's fine. But if you want to practice English, then try practicing English sounds, okay? Another example is where South Asians, Indians, Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, they might get their V's and W's mixed up. So instead of saying West, they might say vest, and vice versa. So what you can do is find a list of words that have these difficult sounds and just try to practice them over and over again, and take your time with them. And that leads us to the next tip, which is to repeat, and repeat. So what should you be repeating? Well, a couple of things, right? First of all, you want to repeat your revision sessions as a whole. That means don't just practice once. You want to practice over and over again. Ideally, you want to be practicing every day, especially if you have your IELTS speaking exam booked and it's not too far away. Okay, now the second thing we want to practice is, as I've mentioned before, the difficult sounds. And remember, every time you repeat, even though you might not be able to tell, you are slowly getting better and better and better. And this is how we make improvements in anything. For example, if you want to gain muscle, you are not going to build a stronger body by just going to the gym once. You have to do the same thing over and over again. So repeat, and this will lead to improvement. Now, the fifth tip to help us with our pronunciation is learning the physiology of spoken English. So in simple terms, what that means is just to analyze the different muscles that are used when we pronounce different sounds. So for this tip, what you want to do is look at a diagram like the one on your screen at the moment, okay? And you can see different parts of the mouth, and different parts make different sounds. Now you can look at videos which teach you how to pronounce certain sounds. So I will leave some recommendations in the description below. But really, you want to analyze diagrams like this. There's many more just like this, and you want to analyze them so you can see which parts of the mouth you can use to perform different sounds. So again, find a sound that you find difficult and try to learn which part of the mouth is used to perform that sound. Now this tip sounds a little bit difficult, but once you start it becomes really interesting and you start to have fun with it, because you will hopefully get to a stage where you are pronouncing sounds that you've never pronounced before. And that brings us to the end of this video. So if you benefited from this video, you must check out this video here where I share some of the best tips to help you with your IELTS speaking exam. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.